What's going on, guys? Today I'm back with another H.A.T format replay review for you guys. If you're interested in sending in your H.A.T format replays, you can go down to the video description and find all the information on how to go about sending those in. Anyways, the match I have for you today, we have Extra Power, who is going to be on, I believe it's like pure Inzektor, versus Alias, who is going to be on Spellbook. This should be a very interesting match, hopefully, so let's get straight into it. Here, it looks like Extra Power is going to win the rock, paper, scissors and get to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Fiendish Chain, Upstart Goblin, Foolish Burial, Soul Charge, and Beatron. And on the other side, we see Fiendish Chain, Spellbook of Secrets, Crescent, Power, and Wisdom. And here, Extra Power will get a draw for turn, getting a copy of Dragonfly, so already having Dragonfly access with the Foolish is really good, and even with the Soul Charge is also strong. Real quick, I'll go over Beatron, as I personally think it's a really cool card, and it is a great looking ultimate rare in person, but not a lot of people actually know what this card does. It says you can send one face-up spell or trap you control to the graveyard, then target one level 4 or lower insect monster in your graveyard, special summon that insect monster in defense position, and it's a hard once per turn. So really cool card, but anyways, here, let's see what Extra Power chooses to do. They are going to go Upstart Goblin, getting a copy of Lance. After that, they are going to, they have a lot of options here, but it looks like they're just going to play it slow to start out, going for Beatron set and setting that copy of Lance and Fiendish over to Alias, who gets a copy of Max C. So a little unfortunate that they didn't try to pop off just a little bit early on, because now they are probably going to get met with that Max C. In case you're wondering, like, some of the stuff that they potentially could do, they could probably go something along the lines of Dragonfly, use Foolish, dump something like a Ladybug, increase the level. Dragonfly can then summon a copy of the Centipede re-equip the Ladybug, increase the level, get a search, and so on and so forth. Make some cool plays there. Also, depending, I guess, on whatever they would do, they might have the Soul Charge live. There was a handful of plays, but playing it slow, especially if they don't know what their opponent is on, is also very easily a good option there. But anyways, here, Alias is going to activate Crescent, revealing Secrets, Fate, and Master. And from here, they are going to get that copy of Fate, which is good, going for the Secrets to add Blue Boy. After that, summoning Blue Boy using the effect, and Extra Power is going to use that Fiendish Chain, but Alias does have the Wisdom, so making it unaffected by traps here is very strong, getting a search for that copy of Master, which in some cases could reveal that they obviously didn't get it off of the Crescent, but moving forward, they are going to activate Master, revealing Fate, so that kind of shows what they got, copying Secrets, and adding the Tower here. And after that, they are going to use the Fate, banishing 3 to non-targeting banish. They are going to banish the Beatron here. So, you know, kind of a shock factor, as I'm sure they're probably like, what is going on here? But anyways, attacking in with that Blue Boy for just a little bit of damage here, activating Tower and setting that copy of Fiendish Chain. I'm sure after seeing this Beatron banished, Alias also feels good about having that Max C in hand. Anyways, here, Extra Power gets a copy of Call the Haunted, which isn't going to be too relevant here. At least at the moment. Here, summoning Dragonfly, using Foolish, dumping the copy of Hornet, using Dragonfly, and that is going to be met with the copy of Fiendish Chain, but they do have the Lance, so, you know, they can work their way around it, and if anything, now Extra Power knows there's another face-up card that they can pop with the Hornet, so that's kind of cool too. But anyways, here, equipping, and they're going to use the Hornet, sending it to graveyard to pop the Tower. Here, Max C is going to be chained because the Dragonfly will be summoning. And here, Dragonfly is going to activate to special summon, and the Tower is also chaining here, which it's destroyed on the new chain. Okay, so it's not missing timing or anything like that here, even with the Max C, since that was the previous chain. And so here, Justice is able to be summoned because there's, you know, the Tower +2. And from here, the Dragonfly is going to summon a copy of Centipede here, and Alias also will get a draw because the Centipede is summoned, getting another copy of Justice. Here, Centipede equips the Hornet. Hornet effect is going to pop the Justice, and they aren't searching? Is this optional if an equip card is sent to the graveyard? You can add. Okay, so not adding anything there, unless I missed something, but they would have had to already add as they already went to battle phase, running over the blue boy here, and main phase 2 just setting 1 and passing. Yeah, really strange, unless I missed something. I don't think I did, because they used it, so they could have searched there. Anyways, over to Alias, who draws a copy of Bottomless here. And they do have the Justice, so they can summon that, activate the power, run over the Centipede here, and get a search, which they're going to get a copy of Secrets, and then from there, they're going to go main phase 2, set the Bottomless, and in end phase, it looks like Extra Power is going to activate Call the Haunted to get back that copy of Centipede, and then Justice is going to activate Banishing itself to add a copy of High Priestess, as well as a copy of Eternity as follow-up. After that, it looks like, they're just showing what all they know, which they do know the whole hand here, and over to Extra Power, who gets a copy of Verdant Sanctuary as their draw. Verdant Sanctuary is actually a really cool card. It says when a face-up insect monster is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, its controller can add an insect monster with the same level as the destroyed monster from their deck to their hand, and that isn't a once per turn, so there is a lot of like cool plays you can do in a lot of different decks that play insects with this, especially because a lot of times they'll play like some of the more extender insects, like the Aztecapede or anything like that, usually the level 4s in most cases, or even there's some cases with like Howling Insect, where you'd be able to like crash it in, summon another, and the Verdant would be able to go on the same chain there. So lots of cool stuff, but we'll see how the Extra Power actually chooses to use this. But either way, they do have Dragonfly and Centipede and that Hornet, so they are kind of just set up. There are a lot of cases where they could probably just OTK in this situation, even through the Bottomless, given Hornet will be able to pop these, but we will see if Extra Power knows the lines or is on enough cards to actually do that, given how this actually has played out so far. They are going to use Centipede, equipping Hornet. Next, they're going to activate Verdant Sanctuary. After that, activating the Hornet to pop the set, and Centipede can trigger to add another copy of Centipede. So maybe they aren't on the equips, maybe, like the Zecalibre, and maybe that's why they didn't search it the last time, or maybe they just missed it or something, because I don't know. Let me see, is this... if an equip card, yeah, it's an if effect, so it's not missing timing here either. I don't really know why they didn't search last time, but anyways, getting the Centipede, normal summoning the Centipede, and from here they can activate Centipede, use the Hornet, pop the Fiendish, and then here the Centipede can add a copy of Ladybug. After that, after that, it looks like they were using the Hornet, or wait, no, actually, how are they summoning this here? They're just adding the copy of Ladybug and then equipping to the Ladybug, sending to graveyard, increasing the level of the Dragonfly by 2, and then summoning another copy of Centipede, which I'm sure is going to do the same exact thing here, which is exactly what they are going to do. And then the Centipede can search. Oh, they are on the Zecalibre. Okay, so adding the Zecalibre. I guess one other thing to note that people forget with Ladybug is Ladybug says for the unequip effect, it says, while this card's equipped to a monster, you can send it to the graveyard and target a face-up monster you control and increase its level by 1 or 2. So if he actually wanted to, he could have like increased the levels of the Centipedes or something, to make so the levels are higher so they could keep the Dragonfly around if they really wanted to. But anyways, overlaying into a copy of Shark Fortress using the effect so it can attack twice, and Alias is just going to scoop it up there. Honestly, kind of cool to see Inzektor pop off like that, but now Alias will get to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Upstart Goblin, Duality, Call the Haunted, Gigamantis, and Centipede, and on the other side we see Master, Fiendish Chain, MST, Book of Moon, and DD Crow. So not the greatest hand here from Alias. Well, it is against Inzektor specifically, but they are going to need some engine to make it work, and here getting a copy of Justice isn't exactly the engine that they wanted. Setting 3 over to Extra Power, who gets Foolish, a great card here, and here they are going to activate Duality, taking Iron Wall and putting back a copy of Deep Dark Trap Hole and Ladybug. From here, they're going to go Upstart, getting that copy of Beatron, and summoning Beatron, and they're thinking here and just going to battle phase, just trying to do a little bit of damage, and probably wait until this copy of Iron Wall is set up before going to the next turn or whatever and potentially doing like a Centipede Gigamantis Foolish type play with Hornet. But let's see, over to Alias, who now gets a copy of Spellbook of Power, so that is a very good draw for them here, because they can summon this copy of Justice, use the power, and run over the Beatron, which then will get them a Search as well, which is going to add secrets, but also it means the Justice can activate in the end phase if need be. And also this Master is live. Here, Iron Wall is going to be able to be activated, but MST is going to meet that. Here, getting a copy of Eternity. After that, they are going to just go to end phase here. Obviously, the Iron Wall would have checked the Justice, so it wouldn't be able to banish and get the advantage. And here, it looks like they are just holding out on the Master at that point. Okay, and so anyways, the Justice is resolving, adding a High Priestess and a Secrets. Probably doing that since, you know, they were trying to get this High Priestess live, and if they had used this, potentially, depending on what they go for, then they wouldn't have had the extra spell, so they don't really feel threatened here, given, you know, they do have DD Crow, in case extra power does get a Ladybug or Hornet into Graveyard, as well as they do have, like, Book of Moon and Fiendish, so they can play it a little bit slower here. Over to Extra Power, who does get a copy of Ladybug. They're going to normal summon Centipede, use the Foolish to dump the Hornet, and Hornet is at 1 in Hat format, so here Alias using that DD Crow on it is pretty relevant, but Extra Power does have the Call of the Haunted, so they can go and bring back the Hornet. We might see the Book of Moon activate, but not yet, it looks like. Here, or well, maybe they could. The Centipede is equipped with the Ladybug, so if they wanted, they could Book of Moon and just make this lose value, but it looks like they are really going to be holding out here, and Alias says it's good, so Centipede can add that copy of Dragonfly. I don't know why they let it get this far, honestly, unless they just are waiting for whatever is summoned. And here, Hornet's using the effect to equip the Ladybug, again, using the effect, increasing levels. Here, going for a copy of Tiras and going to attack in. Here, Fiendish Chain is going to be able to activate, and that is just going to be the end of the turn for Extra Power. Over to Alias, who gets a copy of Temperance. Alias is definitely up in card advantage, and just in general, they are all set to start going off. Extra Power isn't in a great position. Here, High Priestess is going to be summoned by revealing 3, and after that, they are going to use Master, revealing one of the revealed, copying the Secrets, it looks like, or actually, I believe they copied the Power there, given they put the counter here, so they are copying the Power to run over the copy of Tiras, and then be able to get a Search here. Getting the copy of Tower, the Fiendish Chain should go to Graveyard as well, which they do catch right away. And from here, Secrets can be activated, getting a copy of Blue Boy, and now it just spirals out of control. Summoning the Blue Boy, adding the copy of Fate, activating Tower, setting 1, going to end phase, and over to Extra Power, who gets a copy of Centipede. That's not going to be enough, unfortunately. Here, Centipede is summoned, and they say it's good. Okay, actually, they are going to activate the Centipede, chain the copy of Fate, banish the Centipede, which basically just ends the turn there. Alias gets a copy of Fiendish Chain. They're going to use the Tower and standby, putting Fate back, drawing into MST, so great draw there too. Activating the Eternity to add back Secrets, summon Temperance, activate Temperance, summon another copy of High Priestess, activate Book of Moon on the Blue Boy, flipping back up the Blue Boy, I'd assume. Yep, exactly. Getting the Search, getting the copy of Master, just kind of going through all the motions here, and activating the Master, copying, getting back the copy of Power, you know, all the good stuff, and Extra Power already knew it was over. So moving on into game number 3, Extra Power will get to start this one out. Opening hands, we see Fiendish Chain, Upstart, Ladybug, Centipede, and Beatron, and on the other side, we see Wisdom, Justice, Secrets, Torrential, and Fiendish Chain, so very good that, you know, Alias wasn't going first in this round if you are rooting for Extra Power here, because that is a nasty hand from them. And here, Extra Power will get a draw for turn. Getting a copy of Warning is very good, and having the Centipede plus Ladybug does mean that they could at bare minimum get a little bit of setup if they really want to. So here, Upstart Goblin into another copy of Centipede, and summon Centipede, use the effect, equipping the Ladybug, Ladybug effect, increasing the level by 1, Centipede effect to search, getting the copy of Hornet right away, after that setting to back row, and over to Alias, who gets a copy of Crescent. What a crazy draw from them here, activating it, revealing Secrets, Master, and Fate. Getting the copy of Fate again. Okay, must be nice here, going and activating Secrets for Blue Boy, And they are going to, I think they're just talking about what was revealed there. And they are going to go and summon the copy of Justice, and that is going to meet the Solemn Warning here. So Alias will just have to set 2 over to Extra Power, who gets Soul Charge, and now they can use that Centipede, but that is going to meet the Fiendish Chain here. So then after that, they're going to normal the other copy of Centipede. That's going to be met with Torrential, but this Soul Charge might go so hard here, which they are going to go for the Soul Charge, bringing back double Centipede. And okay, they're taking a bit of time to think, going for Centipede to equip the Ladybug here. Using the Ladybug, Centipede can then add. And let's see what they do here. Increasing by 2, Centipede. Oh, not adding here? Oh, nope, they are adding here. Taking a second, getting the copy of Dragonfly. So now they do have Dragonfly Hornet as follow-up. Using the other copy of Centipede and equipping with the Ladybug. Ladybug again. This time getting Zecalibre, so they are beyond set up for the following turn, overlaying the 2 5s into a copy of Durendal, and setting that copy of Zecalibre as a bluff over to Alias, who now gets a copy of High Priestess, which isn't great here, but actually it is, because if they summon Blue Boy and get it to resolve the spell, then the High Priestess will be live in order to special. But let's see if this goes through, obviously into 2 back row. It would be assumed that that might not be able to work here. Here, though, Alias is taking a second to think, and let's see what they choose to do. Oh, they're just going to pass. Okay, playing it a little slower there, actually. I guess, no, if they didn't know what the back row is, I guess maybe if they really thought it was a Fiendish and they didn't want to risk the Blue Boy here, but even then, they do have the Wisdom, so minimally they would get kind of this replaced, or they could even just set it potentially, but well, no, you don't want to be setting into Dragonfly Hornet. So yeah, just playing it very cautiously here, I guess. And it sort of makes sense, because if that were to get stopped, even with the Wisdom, then the High Priestess isn't live, and it just leaves extra fodder for this Dragonfly to really go in. Anyways, Extra Power, I believe, drew another Soul Charge there, summoned the Dragonfly, and here they're just going through the motions again, Dragonfly equipping with Ladybug, and then summoning Centipede, Centipede equipped with Ladybug, and then being able to search, getting a copy of Gigamantis this time, very good draw. It's one of the few that can kind of just equip on its own effect without using the others to equip itself. And here, activating the Zecalibre, equipping to the Centipede, Gigamantis can then equip to the Dragonfly, making its attack 2400, and pushing in for a lot of damage here. And let's see, into end phase, passing it over. Alias gets a copy of MST. Not the greatest draw there, though it could potentially put up a little bit of interruption. And what's crazy is the Durendal having the effect to make so a spell card's effect turns into popping a back row. If they do pop one of these back row, the other effects will trigger, as well as these two do have effects when sent to graveyard. For example, Zecalibre is able to target an Inzektor in your graveyard, a monster, and add it to your hand, and Gigamantis basically reborns one. So anyways, Alias is going to start by summoning a copy of Blue Boy, and that is going to be met with Fiendish Chain, but here we do see the Wisdom chain to it, so the add is going to happen. Here, it looks like Alias gets a copy of Secrets, activates Fate, banishing 3, and if Extra Power allows this through, they could, clear that Durendal, and they are going to allow it through, so Durendal is going to get banished. After that, MST is going to be able to be activated. I believe that was on a separate chain there, so they are going and popping that Mantis. Mantis is then going to summon, I believe they summoned the Centipede there, if I'm not mistaken, and it looks like Alias is just going to scoop it up. I feel like maybe if they had tried to make a play that turn prior, they might have been in a slightly different position, but it definitely wasn't looking good for them. But overall, really cool to kind of see the Inzektor deck pop off. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see the Beatron do anything, or the Verdant Sanctuary, but, hopefully in the future there will be more matches with this deck, and I'll be able to, show that off as well. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it, comment any questions or videos you want to see in the future, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell to get notified anytime I put a new video out, share this video with your friends, and don't forget to go down to the video description to find out how you can send in your hat format replays, whether you won or lost, if you were playing a cool deck or your opponent opponent was, feel free to send it in. I'm sure a lot of people would love to see it. But anyways, guys, I will see you in the next video.